Procedure is what separates us from the wicked forces of chaos.
If it means less paperwork, I'll take chaos. Let me try.
Ayo, you remember the year 2000? For me, it feels both like it was yesterday and a lifetime ago all at the same time. Next year will be 22 years since the Y2K scare of then, and with that we'll be getting a movie from Disney and Pixar, one I didn't think possible we'd ever see come to fruition. Well, yeah, come to fruition. Lightyear, a film following the real adventures of Buzz Lightyear that the Buzz toy from Toy Story is based upon. It also is presumably about his time in Star Command if we follow our Buzz Lightyear related solo venture from the fateful year of 2000, aptly named Buzz Lightyear of Star Command. Now, it could go in a different direction. Sure, let's not jump to concussions here.
Conclusions.
What?
You mean conclusions.
Yeah, what did I say?
Concussions.
Oh, maybe I have one. Regardless, I have been hopeful we'd ever see a return to the actual stories of Buzz Lightyear at some point, as I have fond memories of the show that gave us a look beyond the toy and into some fun cosmic shenanigans. So for today, I wanted to dive into why you may barely remember Buzz Lightyear of Star Command and hopefully show you why I am excited to see where the new Lightyear film next year takes us. Strap in as we get ready to go intergalactic. Hit the like button for more content like this as it helps out the video greatly, and I'll show you my vintage Digimon card collection. It's no secret in the last few years, we, as a viewing audience, have received numerous prequels we never asked for, glimpses into the backstories of predominantly secondary characters from much more successful main Disney franchises. Solo, Maleficent, Cruella, just to name a few. Whether you or I have enjoyed them or not, it probably wasn't something high on your list of wants from those franchises, and if it was, cool, I support you. Soon, like I mentioned, joining the Disney roster of one-name backstory prequels is Lightyear. That will answer all those desperate burning questions you have about who exactly is Buzz Lightyear. But unlike the aforementioned films, in this case, yeah, I asked for this one. I thought it would be impossible to ever see, but it's happening and I am pretty excited for it. For those of us who are around in the early 2000s, we know that the Buzz Lightyear prequel already exists, that those questions have already been answered thanks to the animated show Buzz Lightyear of Star Command. It was a 2D animated Walt Disney TV series that ran from October of 2000 to September of 2001, mostly as a part of Disney's one Saturday morning programming block, a weekend cartoon block on Disney from 1997 to 2002 that included shows like Doug, Recess, and Pepper Ann. While not quite as classic as some of the other shows that debuted during this cartoon block, Buzz Lightyear of Star Command did serve as an interesting piece of world building for the Toy Story universe, with the opening sequence of the show, which featured all of Andy's toys gathering around a television set, heavily implying that it is the same Saturday morning cartoon Buzz originally came from. The show within a movie, if you will. Despite the fact that Pixar were the creators of Toy Story and thus the creators of Buzz himself, the production company had very little to do with the animated series, serving only in an occasional consulting role to Star Command's production crew, and providing the 3D animated opening sequence with all the toys. The world of Buzz Lightyear of Star Command, or more accurately the universe of Buzz Lightyear of Star Command, takes place in the far distant future where the Galaxy Alliance, a union of planets home to various aliens, keeps order across the universe through Star Command, an organization of space rangers who investigate threats to universal peace. Buzz, in the show, is a famous, experienced space ranger who leads a team of rookie rangers on missions across the galaxy. The show is nearly exclusively episodic, with most of the threats to peace being caused either directly or indirectly by Star Command's most wanted, evil Emperor Zerg. With the concept of Emperor Zerg being briefly alluded to in Toy Story 1 and shown in Toy Story 2, in the movies, Emperor Zerg is played as a parody of Darth Vader, with the similarities between their designs and narrative positions as space-themed antagonists being a reoccurring joke in the franchise. Cue the Buzz, I am your father scene.
You killed my father!
I am your father.
While it's easy to pick up in the movies that Zerg is a Darth Vader ripoff, here's something you may not have known through the movies, but you do learn through the show. Beyond being simply stated as evil, Emperor Zerg is also a crime boss and a warlord. What are his war crimes? I can't say for sure. I'm still waiting for my clearance to go through with Space Force so I can read the Space Geneva Convention. But he rules an empire of heavily armed robots and enslaves various alien races that he forces to work in opposition of the Galactic Alliance. So whatever these crimes are, they're probably not that good. The pilot episode of the series, Buzz Lightyear of Star Command: The Adventure Begins, is in fact a 70-minute straight-to-video movie that Disney later broke into 3 episodic parts that was made after the rest of the show was completed. What had happened was that the production team had finished the series in early 1999 and were fully ready to release it when it was deemed unwise to release the show until after Toy Story 2 had premiered to prevent any spoilers or confusion. In the extra time this created, the production team decided to make The Adventure Begins, which gave a more firm start to Buzz's origins as the leader of his rookie crew. The pilot movie also managed to secure Tim Allen, his original voice role as Buzz Lightyear, versus in the rest of the series where that part was taken over by Patrick Warburton. Hey, Zerg. In The Adventure Begins, while dealing with the apparent and recent death of his Star Command partner, Warp Dark Matter, Buzz is assigned a new partner against his wishes. His new partner is Princess Miranova, a rookie ranger and heir to the Tangean throne. Through the TV series, Princess Mira's alien abilities to phase through walls, or ghost as it is often referred to, as well as to read minds, are explored, along with her position in the crew as co-pilot and often the voice of reason. Buzz and Mira investigate the case that Warp and Buzz were working on last when they meet Booster Munchapper, a sweet, naive, and incredibly strong dinosaur-looking alien janitor on the planet Joad. Booster, after helping his hero Buzz throughout the movie, ends up enlisting in Star Command at the end of the film and joins Buzz's crew as another of his rookie rangers. Fourth and finally, the movie introduces XR, short for Experimental Ranger, a short, quick-talking robot that has a numerous amount of useful attachments built specifically to aid Buzz during his missions. An added bonus of XR is that he's a robot, and as such, after being destroyed, he can easily put himself back together again. Which is good because he's blown up nearly once per every mission.
Lord have mercy, I'm about to bust.
By the end of the movie, Buzz has his crew and a newfound determination to beat Emperor Zerg once and for all. And with that, the adventure begins. Or began, I guess. Back in 2000. The creation of the show came about when Tad Stones, Mark McCorkle, and Bob Schooley were just finishing up the production of Hercules, the animated series, when they were approached by Disney to make a Buzz Lightyear TV show on an $8 million budget. Despite the fact that this would mean that they would be working on 2 shows at the same time, finishing up their work on Hercules and starting Buzz, they agreed to Disney's offer. In the beginning, when the production of both shows overlapped the most, McCorkle and Schooley found it very difficult to balance the workload. Stones, though, was a little less involved with Hercules by this point and was able to give Buzz more focus. This made the early portion of the show's creation be heavily influenced by Stones, with a more comedic adventure vibe to the tone of the series. It dipped away from this when Schooley and McCorkle were able to more firmly commit to the project, toward a more space opera, soft science fiction tone. Years later in an interview, Stones wondered whether John Lasseter, the original creator of Toy Story, would like his original idea of the show more than what they ended up with, since he had learned that Lasseter had publicly stated years earlier that he had hated the show, despite the fact that he was one of the key figures the show was originally pitched to. Beyond the original creator of Toy Story not liking the show, Buzz Lightyear of Star Command also had difficulty acquiring a dedicated fan base amongst the general audience during its original airing for one mainly recognized reason. Since the show's first 2 seasons were finished before the show premiered, when it did air, those episodes were often out of order, in different seasons, on different channels, during different time slots. This made it hard for a real regular viewing audience to form for the show. Interestingly enough, a similar thing occurred with the airing of the Fox 2002 show Firefly, though while that supposedly was a deliberate move done by Fox to tank the show so they can greenlight another sci-fi show with a bigger name lead actor, the out-of-order airing of Buzz Lightyear felt less deliberate and more just careless. It seems less like Disney trying to tank a show that they decided they didn't like, and more that Disney has a ton of money and tends to greenlight a bunch of cartoons for 65 episode runs so they can throw them against the wall and see what sticks. Much like those sticky hand toys that you would fling around for a while until they got all gunked up by dirt and dust and lint. You know what I'm talking about, right?
No.
Those things that you would fling around that were shaped like hands.
Very descriptive.
They were like those hand clapper things, except they weren't plastic and they were stretchy and they gripped to surfaces.
Okay, now you've just lost me completely.
The things that, you know what, it doesn't matter. While Buzz Lightyear of Star Command didn't receive much praise in its time, it was genuinely a good show, at least in my opinion. I remember watching it as a kid, eyes glued to the screen to see how Buzz was going to save the day and defeat the bad guys that week. It was filled with heart and humor and a cast of fun, creative characters, and Say what you will about it, but Buzz in the show was true to Buzz in the movies. He was a stickler for procedure and rules who sometimes bulldozed over those around him for his own stubbornness. He was also confident and kind and brave and everything else you'd want an intergalactic hero to be. As a big fan of sci-fi and mainly space-related adventures, the show gave me that fix of what helped propel my love for the genre growing up, visiting many unique planets, moons, and other locations that visually gave the series constant new settings. Like I mentioned before, the show hit that 65 episode limit, meaning it ran its Disney allotted course, and the final episode, if you could even watch it in order, was titled 42, which saw some interesting development in terms of that character, 42, the AI of Buzz's ship, and giving XR a nice little story arc.
Oh, don't take it so hard. We can still be
friends. She wants to be friends.
Never mind, he's down bad. So yeah, it didn't have this big climactic ending for our Space Rangers, which ultimately leaves it on this average note as many of the other episodes would casually end on. So it probably didn't leave that lasting remembrance in your mind as a conclusion to the series.
Concussion.
Ha! You got it wrong this time. I said it right.
Concussion.
Conclusion.
Concussion.
Conclusion.
Conclusion.
Concussion. Oh, come on.
Idiot.
Rabbit season. Duck season. Fire!
The show also had a video game produced titled the same name as the show, released for nearly everything out in the year 2000, minus a home Nintendo console, instead releasing on the Game Boy Advance and was produced by Activision. Sorry, something about that word makes me sick to my stomach. The game received mixed reviews. Lightyear is set to come out next year in the summer, and I'm looking forward to seeing what direction they go in based off the teaser we've been left with since they announced it. I think Chris Evans is a good choice, even though both Tim Allen and Patrick Warburton were both the two main voices I grew up with. I understand for the non-toy version as well as the added star appeal that this was a smart move. I mean, it's Chris Evans, I'm fine with that. It will be interesting to see if any elements of the show will be referenced in Lightyear when it comes out next year, if the Galactic Alliance will still be around, if Zerg is still the galaxy's great enemy, if we will get to see the characters we've come to love like Princess Mira, Booster, and XR again, or if it will totally be a new story with new friends and foes along for the journey. No matter what direction Pixar decides to go with this new movie, either building off the old or making something completely new, as long as it has that heart, humor, and bravery of Buzz Lightyear, that Buzz Lightyear of Star Command was able to capture so well, that I can say that Buzz will be Buzz, whether as an action figure, space ranger, or galactic hero, to infinity and beyond. Now, you've heard from me, and I would enjoy hearing from you. Did you ever watch this show? Are you excited for the new Lightyear movie? Let me know all the above in the comments down below. I would love to cover more shows like this, especially some Disney-related ones, as I know I have mainly discussed Nickelodeon properties here on the channel. So if you'd like to see more of that, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to be a part of my nostalgia goof troop. We'd love to have you. And I'll be back soon with another video, but until then, later.